Well, it's a good morning here at the Political Command Center. My name is Dalton Kawesa to take you through this topical discussion. And what is in the public domain is the discussion of the dissidents, what do you call the renegades of NUP. We want to find out whether they have heed to the call by the regional vice president to either apologize or leave the party. The ultimatum was issued, and many people, especially those that are concerned, have not taken it lightly. The disquiet that lies in the party makes everyone worry. This is the largest opposition party as it stands with the biggest number of MPs in Parliament. Welcome with me. But before we go into this discussion, I want to introduce that I have Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, who issued that ultimatum. Definitely we're going to get into the depth of it and understand what motivated this stance. Could there be other alternatives that they could have explored before coming publicly to issue this kind of ultimatum? But before I go into that, let's recap on what he said.
Addressing NUP-aligned leaders and aspiring candidates from Buganda, the Deputy NUP President for Buganda, Mwanga Chivumbi, appealed to the party President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu to allow a one-month window for reconciliation. Chivumbi urged that the MPs who fell out with the party leadership should be given a chance to apologize and reunite with the party in preparation for 2026 elections. Chivumbi emphasized that failure to apologize will result in the MPs being permanently expelled from the party and the parliamentary slots reassigned to other candidates.
National platform, President,
What we are simply telling these leaders is you still have a chance, but that chance will not be there forever.
Yes, very interesting. I also want to say, what could have...
you can't.
So it's quite interesting. Good morning, Honorable. Thank you for making time on this chilly morning to discuss this. First,
and last on a sad day.
Yes.
In Butambala, we lost a very prominent Muslim leader.
Oh,
not a sheikh, but a Muslim leader. Haji Kasaga. The burial is today. Trying everything possible to make it a burial. Hopefully I will. If I manage to get off the heavy schedule I have today. So it's very, very sad we've lost. He died instantly in a gym. So sad. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun.
Well, it's a pity to the family. That's a very sad note to start with. The constituents and those that are going to bury, of course, road safety is very important. Now, let's come back to the discussion, Honorable. The issue of dissent and in the party, which you have ably and equivocally stated that if people do not heed to the call, you will take them on. Have these people been formally served with a call for caution, or we just see sound bites in the media?
Let me put a context to that part of, because that's the media picked a portion of my address, a portion of the address of the president and other leaders. First of all, it's not an individual position as Mwanga, as wherever. It's a party position. But let me give you context. We called a convention for Central Region. First of all, these are regional. We are 4 months to an election. We called a convention on the 4 regions of Uganda. We started with Mbale, we came to Buganda. Actually, we were supposed to go to West, then Buganda, then North. The 2, the state sabotaged. This one was, I think, because we were having at the party third quarter, it went through. So who did we convene this time? We called all intending candidates that intend to stand on parliamentary, municipal, district elections. All candidates that wish to be candidates, all individuals that wish to be candidates for the party, we convene them. Then we also called 3 people from each constituency as Kunga mobilizers. So it was to set the ball running for the next agenda for a party. Now, we made a deep analysis because earlier our secretariat had given that audience a deep analysis of the situation in Central Region. We have 105 constituencies in Central Region. NUP, in the last election, 155 constituencies. That gives a balance of 50. Out of the 50, and all these things we talked about, out of the 50, 37 are for national resistance movement. So the first question was that we did well, but we did not score 80% or 90%. Therefore, there is room for improvement. We can do better. So that's why when you go for my speech, my first call was to go for the Blue Ocean Strategy. Blue Ocean Strategy is where you go for the deeper waters where you have not been going to fish, other than the usual fishing grounds. So we said, we are going to give our whole to people who are going to go for the constituencies that are in the 50. Now, specifically the 37 for the ruling party. We are saying these ones are going to receive our first priority, and will support individuals that go into that. Now, the other, out of 37, if you minus out of 50, belong to some are independent, some are DP members, some are FDC members. I don't think we have any other party. We said those ones are our strategic allies. We will talk to some who are willing to join us. Okay? And indeed some have joined. Tamaguzi, Chotera, the Fortunate, the woman MP, for Masaka is an independent, for Masaka Rural District. They all have joined, and they are waiting for May to formally become party members. Possibly, we will go with them as candidates, possibly if they won again the party primaries. So, we said that's a target. Then we also came home, said, wait a minute. In our own house, out of the 55, there are constituencies nominally now occupied by NUP MPs, but they have since deserted and joined other political formations.
How many are these constituencies?
No, we'll go through them. And they have joined other political formations. Honorable Kagabo Twa is a personal friend. Sometimes when I'm sick, he treats me. He's a personal friend, but he has joined the NRM. Okay, formerly joined as part of Pirao. Then Honorable Jime of Lugazi, somewhere in Mukono, he has joined. He's part of NRM now, formerly gone. Other good friends of mine have formed DA. And for all intent and purposes, left the party. But there are also others
They
who
have not indicated that they left the
let's
party.
be real.
Yes.
Let's be real. They formed a party. They formed a movement.
Yes. No, the party, you don't have... Honorable
I'm giving you my assessment.
Yes.
You want to say our assessment, not your perception.
Okay.
It's better you listen to the...
Joyce Bagala was on Ego on Sunday.
Forget about joining a party. A party is like faith.
Oh, that's true.
Okay? It's not saying I'm a Muslim. There are pillars of Islam and pillars of faith. And practices of Islam. There are practices of Christianity. You can't say you belong to a political party.
Do you have proof that they deserted and have a new party? The other lot, apart from Kagabo, who at least official has even issued
Sometimes that's why the media and the political elite confuse me. These people launch their platform in public.
True.
And you broadcasted these events live.
You have been part of these movements.
No, wait a minute.
Let's get it clear.
These formations were pronounced. Let people take decisions have consequences. Decisions have consequences. For all intent and purpose. If you leave by the
Can
way,
I ask you something on that?
I believe in free entry and exit.
Okay, let me ask you.
At any given time.
When you were part of the people's government, had you crossed to FDC?
Now, when I was part of the people's government, you get it, I was in full agreement. By that time, we had Sovi.
Yes. Had you crossed?
No, wait a minute. Under Sovi, we never gave any indication whatsoever that we were not DP. We were members of the Democratic Party, and we took, we participated in all activities of the Democratic Party. Well until, I'm one of the most consistent politicians, well until Mao, and I was on this talk show, and I broke the news, still it caused the same stampede it caused.
Let me ask, how does someone leave the party?
I was on this talk show, and I said, I have evidence that Norbert Mao, then the president, has been compromised. I received the same backlash as I received. I said, I have evidence on record that he is joining NRM. And that strategically is going to work for NRM. On this talk show, you can look, I was bashed. People said, how do you say that? What true? So when he formally left and NRM DP allied with, we left in broad daylight. We said, we've gone to start a new formation. We formed National Unity Platform, People Power, and formally left. I've never interfered with activities of the Democratic Party since then.
Yes.
Even I've been so keen, I've not even went out of my way to criticize them for the good they do. I left. Actually, they fielded the candidate against me. You get the Democratic Party fielded the candidate against me in the last election. Now, people who have left and behaved in such a way, as I said, if you're Muslim, you
practice the 5 pillars.
5 pillars, and we also have pillars of faith.
But also,
now, Christian,
there are people that have fallen short of the 5 pillars and have performed 3. Doesn't make
that's a score.
Islamize them.
Now that is a score. Who scores that you have performed 3?
I may perform.
No, they are.
Individuals.
For example, the most cardinal pillar is Shahad. If you go against it, you are no longer Muslim. I'm not a Christian.
Yes.
So whatever else you do, if
let's contextualize it. How do these people leave the party? Now, that you have evidence they've left the party.
Of course, but why pretend? Even you know they have left.
My duty is to ask.
No. What I'm saying.
My responsibility is to ask for the people to have that clarity.
Let me ask. Even a mad person in Uganda knows that they have left. So are you beyond madness?
No, but there's Joyce and the group have stated on TV,
if you
on this
are
TV,
a member of the political party, okay? We convene meetings, you don't turn up. We write to you, you don't turn up. If you have not left, we have not chased you. In 1 month, come, make up with the party and we move. So why are you quarreling?
Honorable, have you formally written to these people?
No, what I've said, internal matters of how we communicate to members, we do. Aren't they reacting? Aren't they reacting?
I mean, many of them that we've hosted have said, we want them to show us that we have written to us and we have refused. Let someone escort the liar. Honorable, why don't you escort the liar and say, this is the letter we wrote to Honorable Mpoga, this is what we wrote to Kakembo.
You are not going to take us into that formality. The formal thing is, we gave them 1 month to make up. And that is human. Okay? We said you have 1 month, please make. Let me give you an example. This is not the first time this happens. Me and Honorable Mpuga went for John Kawanga in Masaka because we believed at that time he was not broadly serving the main cause of change in Uganda. Even in Masaka last year, there was a lady who was very dear to us, very close, a decent Babide Kabanda. Babide Kabanda refused to join the National Unity Platform and People Power. He was a former minister of Uganda, a very decent woman. One day I had to drive to turn from Lukaya to go back, and I spent a whole night with the Babidi convincing her. But once she refused, Honorable Mpuga read the charge in Masaka against Babidi Kabanda. That is how Kakande becomes a candidate. Juliet Kakande becomes a candidate. Because Babidi, we had been working with her, but once she said, I am no longer with you, I'm staying with the DP, we said, we'll give you a chance. You don't work with us, we will move. So it is not the first time that it has happened, whereby if you've strayed from the main course, from the overall direction, we are like a river Nile. We will not wait for you if you are stuck in a swamp.
As the chairman for a Speaker of Uganda Caucus,
no, please don't leave the caucus. That's a distinction.
Yes.
Now, I'm a deputy president of the National Unity
Platform. I want to understand, because generally...
don't bring in the Uganda caucus. That platform, since I took over, I've never used it to achieve political aims. So leave the Uganda caucus out of this debate. Completely, and I will not even react to any question. Here, I'm speaking as National Unity Platform. So don't confuse the two.
It's not a matter of confusion, because
I also chair PAC. Let me tell you, I also chair PAC. When I chair PAC, I'm with all other majority members are NRM. So when I'm chairing the caucus issues, a caucus is multi-ideological, multi-organizational, and I've not pronounced myself on any matter to deal with the caucus. So it's out of this. So debate. Internally,
I'll come back to that, because in the broader strategy, you also need to look at what you left with, especially the numbers that you hinted on 105 and how it's going to reflect on you. That's what I've said. Because it's going to reflect on you and your tenure as that's why as those constituents where we believe some members may not be with us, we are making preparations. Says, come back on the fold. If you don't, you've left us with no choice but to field candidates in those constituencies. And can I tell you, as day follows night, we will do it. What is the internal? Give us a feel of the internal conflict. No, just a moment. Allow me ask. Give us a feel of the internal conflict resolution, because these are your members, and you believe they do not toe the party lines. Have you, give us that feel. Have you tried? To what extent? Are they belligerent? But my uncle, I don't know why you believe on a simple matter that is so rooted in common sense. And I don't know why you want to defy common sense. In this game of politics, if you form an independent political formation and a political platform, and you begin to articulate an alternative agenda from what your mother party, you've deserted. That's why I say elites. I see some elites spending a lot of energy on social media on a matter that is so obvious, rooted in common sense, and it's nothing to do. No, but some of the people involved are my very dear lifetime friends. Correct. Okay? My dear life friends. But political decisions have consequences. You see, what is disturbing, Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, is that we've seen different formations, and people have not left their own political parties. And allow me, please. And I have spoken to some of these players. I said, this could be any other movement, but when we're still allied to the political party. That indiscipline is not permissible, sir. That indiscipline has killed political parties. Oh. Yes. You cannot do that in a party worth its salt. So you cannot have a campaign? You cannot have an alternative platform to
a political platform worth its salt. When Dr. Kizza Besigye tried it to reform NRM, he left.
But when Kizza Besigye...
When a group... Yes.
To extrapolate what you're saying,
yes.
When Kizza Besigye decided to step aside from FDC, he continued to have a movement that will engage the ruling party.
What has happened?
Yes?
What has happened? FDC is now into...
No, but that is later because they
That's what I've said. What has happened? FDC is now in 3 factions. Formal. Muntu left. Dr. Kizza Besigye is now...
They formally left. These ones have.
That's the movement left. Now Nandala and Moriat, and there's now our friends, the likes of the road mayor and others, they have PP. So you know the consequences. The moment you permit that in a political formation, you've lost it. UPC tried it. DP tried it. That same way of behavior. It is not going to happen in the NUP. You are either going to toe the line, follow the party principle, or you are out of it.
Honorable, it's very interesting.
It's a young party of 4 years. It has a long life to go. We are giving it a solid, principled leadership. And people who have been used to a decaying political culture in Uganda are finding it extremely abnormal.
You see, you've just pointed
and that's
out,
what makes a difference.
Okay. You've just pointed out that some of these people you've disagreed with are your dear friends. Yes. And actually, it's very ugly when we see different comments from you, then the other people. It's really ugly for people that have seen you
and
people
there's
grow.
Nothing personal.
And the question is, as a leader who has a strong foot in NUP, have you tried to reach out to at individual person that you are? What is the response?
I have. You never know to what extent, to who I've engaged behind the scene to try, not today, not last year. These things have been building up, and for me, I did everything possible to help that we never come to this point. But in life, there comes a time when a big decision had to be called. And that time has come.
Allow me reference from the show that we had on Sunday, Eagle, where one of the people that are in the spotlight said that no one has reached out to you. Actually, producer, get us that clip where this part of the person that are in the spotlight speak and say they have never, we just hear things from the media.
Who was that? Give me the name.
Joyce Bagala, and we are going to play it. So, okay, you tell us what you have reached out.
You know, I've tried to see my sister. And I've tried to study what she has been saying on media. One, I don't intend to react to her using this show. But let her be principled. She knows what she's engaged in. She knows what she's following. Truth shall set you free. And forget, Ugandans are mature. You don't engage in PR on some of these matters. No, these are solid national life and death. Our friends, our young people are being arrested day and night, aligned in all manner of courts. Okay? It is high time we don't play with their future. So let these elites know they no longer have that luxury. And the beauty, we are going to, and the leadership, we are going to give NUP. And the difference is to give them a principled, solid organization that has the required discipline to change Uganda.
So when you look at these renegades, do you have the potential to outlodge them? Do you have good can to outlodge them?
It doesn't matter.
To dislodge them? Rather.
It doesn't matter. We will do the right thing at the right time.
Would you rather keep, would you rather?
Let me tell you. Pure water only reaches the Mediterranean from the Nile. The impure one along the way drops off. That's life.
What makes this irreconcilable?
What to reconcile? People formed a formation. Actually, let me tell you. For me, I believe in broad-based politics. I believe in bringing together the grand opposition to NRM. But we have to have clear identifiable formations. Okay? We will engage. We will engage with those formations if they are clear. I'm one of the people, those who know my position inside the party, is that you have to engage all other legitimate opposition groups to form a broader coalition for change in Uganda. But they have to be clearly identifiable and principled, not confused elements. So those who strives on that kind of politics, that game is over. Under NUP, under some of our leadership, that's what we are. And those of us who have lived with me over the years actually know that's normally the way we operate.
Okay. As we go for the break, Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, one of the things that's a bit scary is the likelihood that will happen, especially now. Let's look at a constituency. Go to Mitiana in the the woman MP for illustration purposes. You have Joyce. Perhaps she, like you say, if they don't heed, they will be excommunicated. You have another candidate. You have a strong Nabakova. Isn't there inherent fear that you're likely to lose some of these seats?
It will not happen. You see, the problem with you, you think the ordinary people are not clever. Actually, on the ground, in all these constituencies, the verdict is out there. You had the same worries in Kawempe. We were solid, we will pull it off. Those candidates are not strong because NRM in so many areas of Uganda is at 30% and below. So you have a reg room. We've done a lot of studies. So you are not going to scare us to go for principled politics because there is a possibility we would rather even lose an election than having a cast of supporters along the way that are so unprincipled, that will drag you back, that will not be on the move. We've been at it for some time, and it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
So those of you who think that blackmail will work, it will not. National platform, in all the constituencies, by the way, we've talked about, we are going to pull it off.
All right. Let's go for a break, and when we return, we shall have some figures to look at and ask Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi how, because he's a man of numbers, how he thinks he can turn around these numbers. My name is Dalton Kawesa. Stay here, and we'll return shortly.